Hello everyone, so I just want to briefly touch on a few things that I missed out. And obviously the diplomatic situation at the moment of Ireland, and particularly with to do with embassies and things like that. So briefly want to touch about it. So first of all, as you know, today, first of all, two Irish diplomats were expelled basically from Russia. Now the one from the embassy obviously in Russia, the Irish embassy in Russia, excuse me. And obviously first of all there's no really justification for them being expelled. It's probably just tit for tat for what Ireland did last week. This expelled 4 Russian diplomats from the Russian embassy. So basically what I mean by expelled, they're told to leave Ireland. Okay, so yeah, that's a word. So basically it's probably tit for tat because there's very little, well, when I say very little Ireland has done to Russia, obviously it's obviously Ireland has done a lot to probably get annoy Russia the last few months. But yeah, this is the thing. So obviously Irish delegates, those 2 Irish delegates were sent home. Obviously were expelled without any reason, let's be honest, without any reason to be expelled. And obviously the diplomats, so just before the touch too, I looked for answers and I tried to figure out the Department of Defence or the Department of Foreign Affairs release a statement, and I haven't looked it up the other day and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. Maybe I just didn't miss it, but I only seen the press release from the Department of Foreign Affairs about why they were expelling them, and the reason why, because as they say, it's against the Vienna Convention, obviously, of embassies. Obviously, embassies are foreign really territories in any state, obviously. So the foreign on Garda Street and Connaught can't go into the Russian embassy. It's technically foreign land, in other words, in Ireland that represents that certain government. It's the same in any other country of Ireland. That buildings belong to the state, the Irish state. Take for example in Washington, we have an embassy in Washington that's belonged to the government of Ireland. It's belonged to the people of Ireland. So the US government have no say in it or anything. Or likewise in Ireland. So yeah, but again, I did say this, and again 2019 I do remember this, and even I said about it, that the Russian embassy was wanting to build an extension to the back of their embassy, and obviously it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't necessary, and obviously it was a big extension, and obviously I do agree that it was cancelled eventually. But again, I'm assuming they're talking about espionage and spying activity that these diplomats were expelled for, but I would want to see evidence on why they were expelled. Obviously, as I always say, Ireland should be politically neutral, and again, these people in the door, political neutrality too, instead of military neutrality too. Being in the middle, in other words, being in the middle, not, just being in the middle. That's what neutrality is all about, engaging with both sides. And I know that sounds hard, but especially with what's happened at the moment, I agree, of course, it's difficult. Yes, but I would want to see evidence on what they were doing, to be expelled. Because obviously they meet some kind of grounds to expel them. Obviously, as I said, it was against the Vienna Convention. So I'm assuming either it's to do with espionage or spying activity. That's the only thing I could see. Anything else I don't see that it could be. But again, they could argue the same way, the Russian government and the Russian ambassador, that Ireland didn't agree with the Vienna Convention based on embassies and things, because the local police force or whatever the state should protect the embassies, obviously protect them from harm and danger, and obviously the gate was rammed at the Russian embassy, and on Garda Síochána kind of looked at that. You were basically there looking, and it did look bad, and obviously the Russian government would have seen that, so it would have put a big red target on Ireland, to be honest, more than anything else. And again, that's not what we want. We don't want a big foreign power basically in their line of sight, in other words, annoying them, and God knows what they could do, particularly again against cyber warfare. They could do a lot to harm Ireland, to harm the state. So again, we have to kind of be careful in what we do and what we say, and that's where I'm coming from, because we don't have any kind of military infrastructure. I don't know if people can understand that. I don't know if people can understand that. We're not the United Kingdom, we're not the United States. We don't have a blank check on defence or cyber defence or anything like that. As you've seen with the HSE data leak and things like that. There's very little the state has to defend itself. The Oakland and the Highland and the Defence Forces cannot defend the state. That's been proven. Reported. Only the Feds forces and the army have proven that they can't. It's in the Defence Forces itself to report they've done. But yeah, but again, it's been very tense, and again, I do say that it's been very, very tense. But obviously, I know some people saying about expelling the Russian ambassador. But again, that would only bring aggro. And again, we have to think realistically here. Sinn Féin, again, has been saying it. We have to think realistic. Obviously, there's terrible crimes, and obviously, Ireland needs to try and negotiate, obviously, with the Russian ambassador on behalf of a neutral nation. Well, I don't know what Russia considers as a neutral nation, but as a neutral nation, to try and find a solution, a peaceful solution to peace. And obviously Ireland should do that, as you remember, United Nations Security Council, and obviously it's a country that has done a huge amount in supporting, doing peacekeeping. Take for example, peacekeeping missions and things like that. Ireland has a long war in humanitarian conflicts and things like that. And find a common ground, and try and negotiate peace with the Russians and the Ukrainians. So yeah, but that's Ireland's role. That's what should be Ireland's role, and that's why it's important to keep the ambassador here, to speak. Obviously, I'm sure the Irish diplomats are probably talking about it with the Russian ambassador. I'm assuming. I hope they are. And also it's important because again, that would if we expel the Russian ambassador, obviously that would go to the highest point in the Kremlin, and there'd be a big target placed now, and it's only going to hold ourselves more than anything else. If we do anything very, very hostile, and again, that'd be the most hostile thing we could do, is an expel the ambassador to a country. Even though I know people say we should expel, but again, obviously there's atrocities committed in Ukraine. We have to agree on that. And obviously Ireland should denounce it. Of course we should denounce it. And obviously ask for peace, and obviously try and broker peace and try and find this peaceful solution to this conflict, which I don't know how you would find it, but it would even be the challenge of the best diplomat to try and broker peace. But that should be Ireland's role, and not doing tit for tat, I suppose. And that's what it is at the moment. We expel diplomats, now the Russians are going to expel, and then next week we'll expel more, and there'll be tit for tat, and the Russians basically won't be very pleased with the Irish people and the Irish government. And that leads for repercussions. That's what we have to be careful of. Again, we're only a small country. We have to think about that. And again, I know people say, no, we could do more and this, that, But again, we're only a small country. That's all we are. We're only a small country. We haven't got the means to be a superpower and help everybody. I wish we could, but we have to believe, we have to be real in our situation and what we're talking about. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. So yeah, let me know what you think. But I do think we need to just kind of think about what could be the repercussions of what we could do. And obviously the Russians, as I said, they have no grounds to expel diplomats from Russia, Irish diplomats. That's just me, but again, I've seen, obviously there's grounds of it to have, but not anything major as far as I can see. But yeah, take care everybody and bye.